think we're live. We're live. Yo, people. Welcome back. Welcome back to another episode. We told you we're gonna be more consistent this time, so we're back properly now. But yeah, man. You man know the usuals, as we always say: like, comment, subscribe, and share with one friend. You don't have to share with everybody, but just share with one friend to make the difference. And let's try and get to 100 subs by the end of the year. 2 months left. I think that'll be a very good Christmas present for us all. So you man walk towards that. And been a lot going on this weekend, a lot going on, but I don't think there's anywhere better else to start than the Emirates. So Arsenal finally have beaten Liverpool. They've broken that hoodoo that Liverpool have over them. 3-2 win, deserved win. Before we get onto Liverpool, because a lot has been made of Liverpool and some of the performances of Liverpool players, but let's first give credit to Arsenal because obviously there's been a lot about Arsenal's record against Liverpool and more or less the big two, and this is a statement win for Arsenal, definitely in my opinion. Maybe quality-wise, Liverpool are not at their races, but just from a psychological standpoint, is a very big win for Arsenal. So let me start with the Arsenal boys. So Ori, how does this win benefit Arsenal psychologically in the long term and in the current state that they're in with Arteta?
Yeah, I think it's a really huge win in like every context. Before the Spurs and Liverpool game back to back, I was like, you know what, we need to take 6 points from both of them. And it was not really just about the points itself. It was more about like the context of how it was, what was happening essentially. Like we said on the last, like I've said many times, like 3 points at the end of the day is 3 points. Like you don't get more points for beating Liverpool than you get for beating Forest or Leicester or anything like that. So it's the same 3 points, but just what it means in terms of how Liverpool, kind of were respected in the league essentially, and how Spurs are a close rival. And also Spurs are also like, really high up in the table as well this season. So just being able to take full points from both of them in the context of everything is just incredibly huge. We haven't really been able to beat Liverpool like in a while. The time we did was during like COVID, with no fans, and like Liverpool had already like won the league basically. So I don't really think that was as impactful or anything or that big of a deal basically. But this one today, in terms of context, like a City had won the previous day, so they went above us in the league. So winning there, it had so many would go back on top of the league, would set the tone for people kind of to like respect us and know that okay, we're a serious side basically. So yeah, I think it's just really good that we could get that win. Basically, we're back on top now. We've ended that kind of like Liverpool drought basically, where we could have like beat them properly or beat them like in a scenario where it like really mattered. And we've also extended the gap on Liverpool as well, who potentially people would still say would still potentially contend for top four at some point. I think some people expect Liverpool would pick up at some point during the season. If they do, if they don't, I mean, either way, it's still good that we like get as much gap as we can from them, because you never know how the season could turn out. If they start picking up points, like we've already established that large of a gap, so it wouldn't matter long term. Yeah, I just think it's really huge for the boys, everybody, Arteta, like they're all going to be super excited. And now they know that they can essentially like beat anybody at Emirates, especially. Obviously City is, with the exception of City, who we haven't like beat yet, but I think now they go into the Emirates saying like, okay, like who is essentially going to beat us at the Emirates? And that is, last season too, we had a really good home record. And yeah, besides City, personally, I think we should be winning every single game we play at the Emirates, basically. So it's just really huge, really good. And yeah, Saka as well, again, 2 goals. Martinelli as well, huge performance from him. He's really finally growing into that role essentially, and he had never also scored against Liverpool before, even though he had dropped like good performances against them. But to finally like score the goal, have got the man of the match award as well too. Everybody just coming together. Yeah, huge win. And yeah, really happy with how things are looking at the moment.
Dan, what was your feelings after the match? What did you gain from the win?
I'll be very, very. Oh, sorry, talking to Dan. Sorry.
No, go on.
Yeah, I was about to say I'll be very, very honest as well. I wasn't as excited as I thought I'd be for some reason. Like I was super happy, super happy, but I don't know. It's kind of like when you're like a drug addict basically, and like you keep on wanting more of the same drug basically, and no matter how much you take, like it never would be enough really. So yeah, I'm super like I was super excited, but it also like amped me up a lot. So like I'm like, bring on City, and yeah, like it's a really good feeling basically. But yeah, Dan, sorry, carry on.
No, I think I agree with most of what you said, to be honest, especially about like how I felt after the game, because like we've had such a poor record against Liverpool, like especially Liverpool, such a poor record, and to beat them in the league, although they're not at their best, they still had a fairly fully fit side, and I'd say I think we looked quite good against them, and we didn't actually play at our best. So I was quite happy with the result, but there was still that kind of hint of something that I don't know, didn't quite satisfy my needs. But anyway, about the game, I think we were good, but I don't think we were as good as we have been this year, which for me is a positive sign because it shows that there's still levels that we can go. Um, I think the thing that kind of impressed me, two things that impressed me the most about Arsenal. Number one was the resilience and the kind of strength of character that even after being pegged back twice with two equalisers, that we were still on the front foot and still pushing for that third goal and pushing for the winner. And more so, even more so than Liverpool, who essentially shut up shop in that second half and tried to escape with a draw. So I really like that we were the kind of the protagonists in the game at that point, and we were really trying to take the game to them, which we wouldn't have done in past years. In past years, we would have definitely tried to escape with a draw. So I think that's a good sign. And the other thing that I took was I think Arteta got it spot on, and I think he deserves a lot of praise for his number one, his in-game management, which I think not to change things and to keep things how they are worked out very well. And number two, his pre-game management, his tactics going into the game. I think the first goal that we conceded is not anyone's fault really, apart from Gabriel. Like it's just an individual mistake, an individual bozo moment, which you can't put down to the manager, you can't put down to anyone else. It's one of those things. And the second goal, I think, is just a really, really good finish from Firmino. But apart from that, I don't think Liverpool had a single other chance that I can remember. They had even in the first half when a lot of people, like I've seen a lot of match reactions and people say, oh, Liverpool were dominant in the first half. Liverpool, they had the ball, but they didn't really do anything with it. I don't remember any of their front four players having any success at all, really. So, and then compare that to us, on the other hand, who I think we, even aside from the 3 goals that we scored, we still had 3 or 4 other chances, which we probably should have and could have scored from. So, yeah, I'm very happy with the result. But like I say, Arteta's got me, like Ora says, Arteta's got me like a crack addict. I'm just thirsting for more terrible. Can't wait till a Thursday to watch another game, man. And it's crazy to say that considering where we were a year ago.
100%, man. 100% is a good thing to see. Sarah, this is the first time you've been on this year. What have you thought of Arsenal this season?
Not you've actually been good to watch, and I didn't think I'd say that. A big transition from the start when like I think Arteta first came in, and this season, I don't know, I think what I like is Saka and Martinelli in the nicest way possible. They don't play like the new type of winger where everyone's trying to be an inside forward. They play like touchline wingers, and then they come in. Obviously, I think Martinelli has his future could potentially be down the middle, but they're both playing really well. I think Martinelli was probably the man of the match. He played exceptionally well. Yeah, they've been good to watch. I think we'll probably get onto it, but Xhaka as well. What is this role that he's playing? Pushing when Zinchenko plays, and it allows Xhaka to come and be a bit more of a playmaker and doing all this around the edge of the box. That's been really good to watch. And and yeah, you're just a lot more controlled, and even like you've not lost that tactical discipline which Arteta really focused on, because like even when Liverpool had the ball, you were still getting back, keeping solid. Um, and yeah, I think the centre back options and partnerships that you have, I think there's a lot more scope for development. I think like yesterday, for example, you played four centre backs, didn't you? Like, and obviously Gabriel and Saliba's probably been like potentially the best centre back in the league this year. And I think there was one chance for like I think Diaz was through on goal. Saliba just like matched him pace for pace, etc. Um, so yeah, I think the teams dealt with a setback very well from the end of last season, where you guys were shooing to get top four and you didn't quite make it. I think that's probably giving you like that little bit of extra motivation. Yeah, I think you're just better to watch. I think that's the main thing. And obviously Jesus as well. Jesus has provided a lot of different options up front. Holds the ball up, runs the channels. Yeah, it's good. What I'd ask you guys is, do you think going forward, like who is your best centre back partnership? Because what I'm seeing at the moment is there's a lot of different combinations. You had Tomiyasu playing at left back yesterday. Like tactically, are you happy with different people being played, or is it a case of it's Saliba and someone else?
I think me and Ori probably agree with this because I think I know who you're going to say.
Because Gabriel yesterday, he was a bit. There were some moments. I'm not gonna lie, he was a bit sus.
Yeah, I think a lot of Arsenal fans now are not particularly like 100% like pleased with Gabriel. I think he's I don't think he's a bad centre back. He offers something which like a lot of our centre backs do not really. He does have like that aggressive
the physical advantage.
Physical part of his game.
Yeah.
In terms of like technicality, and he's also a very good passer of the ball as well too. Long range passing, all of that. He's good at that as well too. But just in terms of like, I feel like he panics too much. And I think he's also rash as well with his decision making. So all those things all put together, like for the stage we were at last season, it's good enough. Starting of this season as well, to good enough. But definitely long term, he's not going to be like, option like he's not going to be a centre back I want to be playing in the UCL. Basically, he's not going to be someone I want to go up against Mbappe or Neymar, players like that. I feel like we would sign a centre back, a left-footed centre back. I think we probably would let Gabriel go. I feel like there are other teams that he would kind of suit better. Teams who are kind of slower paced. I see a lot of people hinting him to go Juventus. I feel like that probably would be a decent move for him as well.
Yeah, Bonucci replacement, I think.
Yeah, but in terms of, I don't know, it's kind of like a very good problem to have, basically, where we have like a lot of centre back. At the moment, I think our best centre back partnership would be White and Saliba. With that being said, though, I would want a left-footed centre back as well. So
yeah, Saliba has that. Yeah, Gabriel has that, doesn't he? Yeah,
exactly. So it's all going to get very, but like it's a really good problem to have where you have like a lot of good quality players. Because think about Tomiyasu as well. Think about how good he's playing now, and he's not a starter basically. So I guess this is kind of what I've been asking for Arsenal for a while, where you have like a lot of good players and the competition is there. So like whoever is playing the best, gets into the squad basically. But I think we sign another left-footed centre back. I think we carry on playing White in right back. I don't think Gabriel will get dropped unless he probably gets injured. If he gets injured, then that's kind of like a good way to kind of like integrate White back into CB, move Tomiyasu to right back, and then I just don't see Gabriel like really getting back into the squad, especially if we're playing, we carry on playing well or better as well. But yeah, like at the moment, it's not that huge of a worry. Like if we were challenging for the title, which I don't know, I don't think we are, then it would have been a huge problem basically, because I don't think we'll win the title with Gabriel, like because in the squad essentially, or as a regular starter basically. But as of right now, like I said, for the level we are at as well, he's okay.
Yeah, he's more than good enough.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
With the centre backs. So obviously Gabriel's young. He's 23, isn't he? Or 24. And there's one key thing that you mentioned was the rashness. Now, obviously, centre backs always, as they get older, the usual general rule is that they get better.
Yeah.
But do you think, sort of like their profiles, so like the Gabriel's an aggressor. He likes to step
Mm.
foot on the front foot.
Yeah.
Do you think you can eradicate those mistakes in a
I think
sense?
you can
'Cause-
sharpen him. So I think
Mm.
his decision, I think when he's about 27, 28, I think he'll be a lot better. And I think that's just due to experience. So I think his decision making will be better. And I think he'll be more composed, which will help, especially because he's quite rash, so that he'll be less rash in them situations. But I don't think his profile will change. I think he'll just become a little bit sharper in that aspect.
Because I'm not trying to say change his profile, because I think that's just innate to who he is. He likes to be on the front foot and step out. But it's just a thing of, I don't know, because it's hard to look back, the top centre backs of the previous years and look at how they were when they were young. Because I don't really remember like how Ramos was when he was like 22, 23. I don't remember
He
how
played
Silva
at
was.
fullback when he was younger, didn't he?
Exactly.
He was a
Silva,
right back.
Chiellini, Bonucci, or all the
Yeah.
old ones. I can't really remember how they used to like play when they were like 21, 22. So I'm just thinking, because he's very young and you can't really expect him to be like a Saliba where, Saliba's almost, he's just changed straight away. Like he's just adapted straight away. Those aren't normal, innit? They're outliers. So with Gabriel, I don't know, is it a thing where you'll be willing to wait for him to eradicate sort of some of the deficiencies that he currently has? Because he's very dominant in the air and he offers you that. And as you said, he's good passing wise. So he has the traits that you would want, but it's just that he makes some certain mistakes. Because if you actually look at the game, he doesn't actually make loads of mistakes. He just makes fatal mistakes. That's the issue. So it's like, do you think it's possible that, obviously we're saying he will improve, but do you think there's enough time to wait for him to improve? Or is it one of those things where there will just be another better centre-back anyway?
Kimpembe is 27 and he's still doing it. But Kimpembe's been doing it for years.
I don't know.
And like, what?
Yeah, sorry, carry on.
No, go.
Yeah, the centre back market is also, I don't know. Like, I wouldn't want a scenario where we do sign a left-footed centre back and they turn out to be worse than Gabriel. Like, I do think like our coach, our scouts, they do have like good talent ID, but it's also very risky at the same time. Like, with that being said, at the stage we are now, like I said, Gabriel is cool, but like I wouldn't want us to get a centre back who would be worse and take us like lower level. But with that being said, again, we do have players who can still. So like if we sign a left-footed centre back who doesn't turn out to be as good, and we'd already let Gabriel go, like we could always still play White and Saliba as our centre back pairing. So it's not like the end of the world, basically. Do we have enough time to wait? I don't think so. And I think like a lot of Arsenal fans and a lot of people are going to kind of like not like that, basically. And it's not only going to be Gabriel, but like I've always said, like is a lot of players not a lot, but like players in our squad would, when we do decide to go up that extra level, we would start questioning like a lot of players in the team. Like as of them, like I always say, like at the current level we are at right now, like a lot of our players literally match it to perfection. But when we go up a level, it's either that the players that we have either go up that same level or they're not going to make it, basically. But I feel like that's going to be very hard for like a lot of fans, even Arteta himself, to also accept as well too, because he, like I always say, he has players that he likes and all of that. So it's going to be a very interesting point that we would reach. But
should we do it now? Should we do it now? Should we go through the team and look who we think they're ceiling?
As of this moment, if you're telling me that like if we're turning into a UCL challenging team, like a team that wants to win the UCL and wants to win the Premier League consistently, the only players in our current team who I think
let's start from the goalkeeper and then we'll go on. So is Ramsdale someone that you can see continuing into?
As of this moment, no.
Yeah, I agree.
As of this moment, no. With that being said, he's a guy who could potentially improve a level. And the level he would have to improve on is his shot.
It's quite a lot. Yeah.
And just be a bit more decisive and slightly more dominant as well too.
And composed.
Playmaking is probably one of the best in the world. So he's good on that. Ball distribution, all of that, he's amazing, he's awesome. But like that level of shot stopping, essentially he needs to be as good as Alisson or like very, very close to Alisson's level, essentially. And yeah, either he can improve to that level or, start asking questions basically. And with that being said, like, it's always kind of weird to kind of say it about your current players because, people kind of feel like you're, hating on them or like, you're like, shitting on your current players basically, which is not really the case exactly. It's just like, it's like no hard feelings. It's analysis basically. Like, and I think like if we're going to get to the point where we're going to have to like, win the UCL and stuff like that, like Arsenal as a club and this thing, we're fond of like enjoying the moment basically. And we don't always like plan long term or think about like the future. Like when we had like the Alexis, Ozil, all of that, because they're like it was vibes, but we failed to improve on our striking quality and other areas as well too defensively, which could have potentially like given us a title around that era. And we just like wasted that whole phase and wasted that whole era. So right now we can't make that same mistake. Any position that isn't the level that's required, not necessarily that they have to go, but they could just drop to the bench, become competition, and they too could take up upon themselves to also improve and compete with whoever we sign, basically. So it's not the end of the world. It's just like good competition. If they don't want to have that competition, they're more than free to like go and stuff like that. But
So
yeah,
let's move on to the defense because we kind of went upon it already. So we're saying Saliba is going to be there, White would be there.
Even White, I don't know if White can
White,
reach the top level.
I don't know. Yeah, would just have to kind of see.
I think a lot of it, like you said, I think a lot of it depends how the players adapt as well. Because
that's the thing. Like everything I'm
saying
right now could literally
23, 24.
like a lot of like these players could. It's kind of like adapting with the team essentially.
Yeah.
So as we grow, if the players also grow with it, then perfect. Like, I can't really say definitely like because the players that we have currently could definitely adapt to the particular like level that we need essentially, but. I don't know. At this moment in our team, I'll say like no one is safe really. Like it's just
what about well, you can finish here.
Yeah, I would say like you said, Saliba. Saliba is a really, really promising young centre back, but if we also get to that top level and he too isn't playing at the level that we require, then. But like I said, Saliba is one of those people that like it's incredibly likely that he would be playing at that level, just because of how he like eased in. So you can tell like he's a player who can adapt to, squads and how like squads are playing at the moment. So he probably would be fine. But yeah, a lot of our players like I just can't really say definitely that okay they're safe. And with that being said, it's not like they would just like be sold or anything, but they may just like get more competition essentially. Like if we sign wingers, for example, now it's not like saying Martinelli and Saka do no longer have a place in but now they know that they're not like the only wingers that could potentially be starting for us. They know that they have competition. They know that they have to up their level to get to what's required. But yeah.
The good thing is though, they're so young to the point where they're not even like 23, 24 yet. So even if you sign, you got Marquinhos and Fabio Vieira on the bench. Like that's a good position to be in where you're not like they're not 28 where like you're like, oh, we have to start rebuilding again because we're not going to win the UCL with these guys. Like there's still so many more levels that they could go up. I think Odegaard he'll probably stay around regardless. Like he's been playing at a level since probably the start of last season, which has been very consistent.
I think Odegaard's very important because
I think he's
I don't think there's many players like his ilk that you can find on the market in terms of where they're very methodical with the way they pass. You got a lot of people that are, especially in the midfield area, they're a bit more gung-ho.
He's very controlled with his chance creation. I like the way he plays.
But he definitely needs. He has 2 or 3 more levels that he has to go up to, and he's cost us. He nearly cost us twice this season already because he's not ruthless. And if he becomes ruthless, then he's going to be a hell of a player. At Old Trafford, for example, I think it was 1-1 or 2-1, and he had a big chance he missed. We went on to lose the game. Even at the Emirates when we played against Liverpool, he had a big chance right at the beginning of the second half. He missed, and they equalised. Maybe on another day we might not have won the game. I think that's the one thing that he definitely needs to improve.
But you see the thing with Odegaard though, I think you're expecting something that he isn't. He's just never going to be ruthless in front of goal. Like as
But
much as he should
if you
improve
want
on
to play
that.
at the highest level, you need to at least be competent in front of goal.
I do hear what you're saying but I
You
just
can't be
look
a
at it from
liability.
I just look at it from a sense. I look at someone like Bernardo Silva. I'm not looking at Bernardo Silva to be ruthless in front of goal. Obviously, when he
No,
gets
but he's a
into those
lot more
options,
clinical. He's way more
But
clinical.
he's way more like it's not really just about being. It's more about being smarter,
Decisive, be more
being
decisive.
decisive. Yeah,
Yeah.
smarter and being decisive. Like when we had Ozil wasn't a ruthless, like he wasn't ruthless essentially in front of goal. But when Ozil found himself in that position, like Ozil would like he had some like goals where he that were like exceptional essentially, and I see Odegaard in the same position, and I don't
It's like
see
Madison at the moment. He's been decisive
Yeah,
like this
100%.
season. He's been
decisive.
decisive. Like
Yeah. I just think it's just always like if he finds himself in the position, like I'm not always asking him to get in those positions. I'm not saying he should be, he's not a 10 essentially. He's and more of an interior 8 essentially. So I'm not asking him to be like, a De Bruyne. I'm not asking him to be like, Kaka. So I'm not asking him to be like a number 10. But once he finds himself in those positions, which he will, then he should be more decisive. I think that's really what like where the whole ruthlessness thing comes from. But with that being said, he still has like levels like to improve on.
I think all the team have levels to improve on too.
Yeah. That's like Sarah was saying that like it's good that they're a really young squad, which is why like I do give a lot of them benefits of the doubt. Like the older you get, the more experience you have, the more matured you get. So
Definitely.
Which is why a lot of these players are kind of growing and getting into that like comfortable skin. But with that being said, yeah, I think when we do like start looking for players, we probably would look for a bit like more older.
You'd be looking for 25, 26, I think.
Yeah,
I think from now
players in
on,
their peak.
Yeah,
Players in their peak.
last year and the years before, it was the opposite. You were having players like Pepe and Willian who were established, and then it was like a problem.
Yeah. I feel like once we can get that like perfect blend of like young players, old players, all together, then it's kind of like the perfect balance. Essentially, that's kind of how City even work right now. Like you have the Haaland and Foden who are young, you have the experienced like older players in the team as well too. So just a mixture of both of them is just what kind of gives the squad like a good balance basically.
100%. And then striking, I think we're gonna give Jesus a bit more time in it because this is like his first couple months.
Yeah, but again, long term, we are going to need like.
I think you are going to need
we're going to need a sharpshooter. Yeah, we're going to need another striker at some point. Not saying Jesus is also an adaptable player as well too, so he can also play either wings, anything like that, and he can play any position across the front three. So he will definitely always be getting like quality game time. But I feel like at some point we would get another striker. I think at some point we would get another striker. Yeah. I think we just need someone who's just a bit like the better ball striker, probably. Yeah, like
just someone who's super clinical.
Yeah, someone which are like like the Kanes, like the Haalands, like the players who like Jesus is more of just like he's an all-round striker, not in like the.
He doesn't excel in any one area.
Like,
He's
kind of just like he kind of plays like street football in a positive way, but like he kind of plays like just like always wants to always be like involved in every single aspect of the game, which is really really cool. And again, he's literally perfect for like where we are right now.
And who says that Arteta couldn't mold him into something in 6 months' time? Like he could, because he worked with him for a long time.
Yeah, I don't know. The thing is, ball striking is just one of those things where like
you either have it or you don't.
Yeah. You either have it or you don't. Like
I think he can improve though.
His record is really good. His record is actually really good.
Strike can improve a hell of a lot.
I've seen a lot of times where like he dribbles through players, but doesn't like get that final,
because he's been playing on the wing for like 3 years. So he's gotten used to doing that.
I kind of saw a tweet that said he's kind of like a poor man's R9 essentially. Where like he has that all round this thing, but what R9 had was serious ball striking,
serious physicality.
Yeah, and serious physicality as well too. Yeah, so yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Really, the striker market is also very like I don't
It's a
know.
hard market at the moment.
It's a
Very
hard
hard
market at the
market.
moment.
Like,
Yeah, the only player I really
there's not many good young strikers at the moment.
the only player I really wanted last season was Osimhen, because I know Osimhen is a really ball striker. But as of like, I can't really think of any even like the striking market is just very
Skamaka.
We're gonna talk about him. He looks all right, man. He looks all right. Talk about him. Anything else to add on about Arsenal?
Nothing really.
So
We'll see what happens post World Cup. It'll be interesting what happens post World Cup. How they?
100%.
I think we need to win every game till I want us to be top of the league before World Cup. I think that would be and City are playing Liverpool next, so that should be interesting.
City will smash. If they turn up like they turned up at the Emirates, they'll concede 5 or 6.
Yeah, but City also always like, permit my language, but they like bend their back for Liverpool sometimes a lot. So it's like I don't know how that game is going to turn out.
It's
I know
not the same Liverpool though. Like the intensity is nowhere near the same.
the intensity is nowhere near. True. I would love I wouldn't really mind any results really. Like a City win, then like we extend the gap on Liverpool and kind of like close that chapter because it would be
14 points already.
14 now.
17 points ahead of Liverpool is ridiculous.
17 is insane. I don't think Liverpool are catching us at 17.
They're not catching.
Then if Liverpool beat City, then we go like 4 points clear, top of the table if we win. So
And City are undefeated.
yeah, and City end there undefeated this thing, but I feel like it's only a matter of time. I think City would eventually catch up, go on top of us. But it's fun while it lasts, really. Dare to dream.
Top three. You guys should game definitely top 3.
Let's actually move on to Liverpool now. So obviously, shout out Erhan, Diaz and Trent are injured. City are gonna have fun with them. What's going on with these
might
men?
be a blessing though. It might be a blessing in disguise because he's been a really.
Do you know what I've realised? So on that right hand side where they've had Trent, Henderson, and Salah. Obviously, Henderson covers for Trent when Trent pushes up. Salah's obviously playing a bit more reserve this year. That side is costing them basically every game. The work rate's gone. Salah's having to be more of a playmaker, and I think Trent's just lost his confidence. Like he's deep in every situation. And it doesn't help as well that Matip and Kanate and Gomez have all been switching in and out. So he hasn't had that cover there. So I think the right-hand side of Liverpool is the biggest issue. Like, straight up the biggest issue. And it doesn't help as well when Klopp's switching from a 3 in midfield to a 4 up front to... Do you know what I mean? There's too many variables at the moment. And now Diaz is injured as well. So, I mean... I don't really know what they're going to do.
People overhype Diaz, man. He's alright. He's a good bit. You know the thing about Diaz, is that you see when moments get tough, he will step up. He's like Mane. Yeah. When the moments get tough, he will step up. But his overall, like
he's still. Mane
was way better than Diaz, though.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, 100%. But Diaz, like.
I think at the beginning he did a lot of things right. He picked up the ball on the touchline and then would do something out of nothing, which is sort of what Salah was doing for a long time. But
Salah hasn't had a very good start to the season as well.
No. But he's been playing a lot deeper as well. So
they're trying to make him do the playmaking thing, but he can do it. But he's not. That's not his game like that. It's not his game.
But Firmino's been the most informed attacker out of all of them, and he's played limited minutes.
But like I keep saying, like I don't know, Klopp kind of dug his own hole, man. Like switch up the tactics really. Like the whole intensity thing is just it's too tired at this point. Like well,
some of the players are just dead straight up tired. Like
throughout Klopp's reign, like they've never had a attacking like a midfielder who attacks and stuff like that. Like that's just like at no point did he think like, okay, let me try like or am I missing? I can't really think of anyone who was really like
But it was meant to be like a double eight in it of like Thiago and Keita. or like Ox.
But that was never really, he's always wanted that like intensity midfield, like
Yeah.
But to be honest, I will give him credit. I think he has kind of deviated away from it. If you're buying someone like Thiago's got a bit of intensity, but he's not intense. Like he's more on the ball, spraying. And then he's obviously tried to pair him with Naby at times. So I do think he has tried to deviate slightly, but
but I don't know. They need more like midfielders who can kind of also make those final third runs and stuff like that. Like
I think Cavalier is meant to be that guy.
I do like Cavalier.
Cavalier
is
kind of like that kind of thing.
And Elliot's a good player as well, good youngster as well. So I don't know.
I like Elliot. I think Elliot is good. But yeah, like again, those are young players. Like I don't know. It's just kind of Liverpool. Don't really know what's really going on with them. Also just overall burnout as well. Really, like I said on the last listing, like it's kind of like overwhelming. Like when you like lose out to the title like so many times, and like you lose out UCL so many times in the last like even if they were playing well this season, like the team was still going to most likely win the league. So it's like why like what exactly are you even fighting for at this point? But I kind of feel like they would still like have good patches this season. Probably still pick up at some point. But yeah, they are definitely in the top 4 race now, which they probably didn't expect like going into the season. But yeah,
Denzel, you there? I think he's not there right now. But with Liverpool, what? Okay, how do you think they should line up against Man City? What should be their course of
Joe
action?
Gomez has to be a right back.
They haven't got much choice, to be honest. It's going to be Gomez, Matip, Van Dijk, and Tsimikas.
I think Gomez, when he came on against Arsenal, massively helped them, especially on that right-hand side. Martinelli didn't have half the success that he did in the first half. He was still good, but I think Joe Gomez solidifies them a lot on that side. And it might mean that Salah has less help up top, but if this guy is really as good as you think he is, and as Liverpool fans have been hopping on, then he doesn't need Trent to carry him to get goals.
Let's talk about these key Liverpool players. So who should we go on first? Should we Virgil, Trent, Salah? We should go on Van Dijk. I actually thought he played all right against you guys. I didn't think he was bad.
I don't think he was great. I think
he was okay.
I think he's lost a yard of pace after his ACL injury, and I think his kind of, I know people go on about his aura and whatnot, but I think he relies too heavily on the pace that he had before to recover from initial. So he jockeys a lot and waits for the attacker to make a decision, and then he used to rely on his pace to stop them after that decision's been made. But I don't think he has the capabilities to do that anymore, which is why I don't think he's playing at the same level. Because, for example, like the first goal for Arsenal, I think he was jockeying Saka inside, when I think in that situation he probably should have tried to stop Saka advancing and either foul him or at least try and slow him down.
I agree with you, Dan, because that's why the rashness has come in this season as well. He's sticking out legs a bit more. He's being a bit more rash, which you wouldn't have associated with him even like a couple of seasons ago. And like I saw, like I think sometimes as well, like they're facing a lot more attacks now, and before they weren't. And like players like Van Dijk, Trent, in the nicest way possible, they seem a bit not lazy, but they don't seem that like as enthusiastic to get back and help out their defence as they did before, because they're facing so much more traffic because of the midfield, because of no Fabinho, etc. It's a bit of a mess.
Fabinho is fair, but Fabinho is also just like not playing well as well.
He came on yesterday. He didn't play well, did he?
Yeah, the overall quality have just dropped. Like they don't have that much. Like they've lost their passion and desire.
So in midfield, who would you start against City? Because that is probably the most crucial part.
Not hard.
And then I like with Thiago, Fabinho, and maybe Elliot.
I like Elliot, but I don't know if he'll be able to match the intensity of City's midfield. I think he'll be caught up against City's midfield, and I don't think he'll.
I think they should go for Thiago and Henderson and Firmino as a 10.
Yeah, I think
Definitely.
Firmino is a 10, but I think if you're going to go with Firmino as a 10, I think you need Fabinho in there, even
So
though he's
if
not quite playing that
Yeah,
well.
that's the thing though. Yeah, you would need a more defensive player if Firmino's
Firmino
in
at 10, but then who are you going to play on the left wing?
Jota. He has to be
Oh yeah,
Jota. There's
oh
no one
yeah,
else.
yeah, Jota and then Nunes up front.
Then Nunes
Yeah.
off on the Salah on the other side. I
Yeah,
think that's kind of what they have to do because their squad depth is really like
he's struggling at the moment.
yeah, it's not looking nice here. So yeah, I think that's what I would go for. So Nunes up front, Jota left wing, Salah right wing, Firmino 10, Thiago, and then probably Fabinho. Just for like that extra defensive cover. But Henderson is probably still okay.
And then you're probably going to rely on Thiago and Firmino for all the chance creation. To be honest,
Yeah, it's true. You're going to be a
which
bit more
Everton's not
central.
used to. Yeah.
So obviously there's been the thing. I mean, Trent's thing has always been about his defensive capabilities, and I just feel like obviously we're saying with the intensities now dropped. Because one thing Liverpool used to do is obviously because they pressed you so hard, they'll win the balls, they'll sustain it. So the need for Trent to defend was decreased, and then you obviously now have the net positive of what he brings on the ball. Now that teams are probably fitter now, obviously now we're way past COVID now. What's it called? More money, more technical, gifted players where they can keep the ball a bit more. Where you're now being forced a bit more back. Now you're having to defend more, and then the key thing here, which we have to also mention, is the mental side of it as well. There, Liverpool might not have the juice or the energy, like Ari is saying, because of how many times they've come. So, how many times they've come close to winning the league. So, I feel like with Trent, it's just that his deficiencies are just being exposed a bit more. He's not a defender in the purest sense. But you see with Cancelo, though, Cancelo is probably worse, but because City keep the ball, he's not put in those isolated situations where his weaknesses are exploited.
But that was the same with Liverpool when Liverpool at their peak, though. And I think
exactly.
That's what
yeah. But I think then like isn't that what people kind of call a system kind of player, basically?
Yeah.
And like I've said, like I genuinely have nothing against like system players. Like if the system is good and you can play good in that system, then that's good. Like you don't always have to. I think because Liverpool's system has just kind of been like you said, found out. So they can't keep the ball as much, like lack of intensity. And people know like they rely on fullback creation a lot. People that really like, and also like wingers kind of really know how to, well, not really know how to, but like they can isolate their wingers, their fullbacks better now. I don't know really. I don't know. Also the
talk about that
from Van Dijk as well.
Yeah.
Because like in the past, really like Van Dijk could kind of always cover that space,
the right hand side. Yeah.
If Trent kind of pushed too much, but Van Dijk in himself too has been not having the greatest season,
and his partners have been changing every week as well, which is
like as a system player, the worst thing that can happen is when everybody in that system also drops off in quality, which is exactly what's happening to Trent. Because I think like with Trent, like for the rest of his career, like the media narratives are always just going to keep flip-flopping on him. Like he's always just going to be that player. Like there'll be a point where everybody hates him, there'll be a point where everybody loves him, there'll be a point where everybody hates him, loves him, and he's just going to keep going back and forth. And that's literally just because of he has a very much stronger side of his game to another. So this time when one side is flourishing, everybody would be like, Trent is probably one of the best right backs, ever in the Prem. But when he's, no, everyone is like, really overrated guy and stuff like that. But I guess it just always kind of depends on how well the team around him are playing and whether they're playing like the system that suits him.
I want us to discuss this about system players. I want us to have like a definition sort of thing. So what actually constitutes a system player? Because when you look at Trent has skill sets that I think can benefit any team. A system player I would look at is someone like a Griezmann. Because I feel like Griezmann's very niche. Like I don't think you can play him.
You don't think Trent's very niche? I think
I
Trent
think-
in a lot of teams is a
I think
massive.
I would define a system player as a player whose stronger and positive qualities match how the current team they are in plays, essentially.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
like a player who can essentially, let's say a player who can head the ball very, very well. And he's in a team that always crosses the ball. Essentially, this is just a very like bland example, but he's in a team that really always crosses the ball. Then he's ineffectively a system player, essentially, because like his strong quality is suited to how the team play, essentially. Yeah.
Because I don't know what's going on with Denzel. Because I'm looking at it. What was in my mind? Because I'm looking. What Trent could play for City, definitely. Do we agree?
100%.
I think.
Could he? Where would he play?
I mean, but you can realistically make
No,
the
but it
argument
would
that
be- it would
anyone
be-
can play
that-
for City. City are so dominant that, like,
Yeah.
no matter who they have on their team,
Yeah.
they're
Anybody
not
can
gonna-
play for City.
like
Do you-
anyone.
do you-
Anybody, but like you didn't get what I mean,
Okay,
yeah.
better question. Could he play for you guys?
Trent,
Yeah.
Well, right back.
You have
yeah.
Zinchenko.
Yeah. It depends on who we
I
play.
think-
Like, so if we play someone like Tierney when he's on form on left back, then yeah, we could play Trent as a right back. Yeah.
I think there's but the thing with Zinchenko is I think Zinchenko is, I don't want to say a lot better technically. I think he's just a lot more kind of clean, if that makes sense. And
I do
I
get
think-
what you're saying.
I
He's
think
a bit more polished, isn't he? Like
Yeah,
he
and I
understands
think
spatial awareness a bit. Like
he's
on the ball.
especially when it comes to midfield, he's a lot better decision maker. I feel than
Zinchenko
Trent.
was a 10.
That's what I mean,
Zinchenko
like-
was a 10. Yeah, he
I
was.
feel
he
like
was,
Trent's long passing is and crossing obviously are his main kind of selling points and his main assets. And I think in our team, I'm not sure how that would correlate because we don't really cross massively. I think I saw a chart the other day where we were like third or second team with least crosses or least chance creation from crosses in the league. So I don't know how it'd work on our team, especially with how poor he is defensively.
You know how it would work? I think you'd have to get rid of Partey though. Because Partey, if you watch him, he's very aggressive with how he progresses the ball. I don't think you can have too many players that are
He's
big.
very vertical, Partey.
Well, you need someone to cover for Trent, wouldn't you?
Exactly.
Partey.
So
Exactly.
you'd get a more athletic midfielder to play as the DM instead of
You
Partey.
need someone who's going to sit in front of the back. You need someone who's just going to anchor the back four if you want to play Trent.
But do you see what we're doing here? We're already having to adapt
That's
our
what I'm
exactly.
thinking.
system
Yeah,
to
so
fit him in.
yeah.
Whereas if he was at City, you could stick
Yeah.
him in a midfield three potentially
Exactly.
with Rodri and I don't know Gundogan or something, and it'd be relatively secure.
Yeah, but that's because City are better than us and they're higher level. So
So that's my point. Trent probably wouldn't fit into any other Prem team, if we're being honest. He
Mhm.
probably wouldn't.
Mm.
I don't think he fits in at West Ham. I don't think he fits in. Maybe would Conte take him?
Wait, but you guys have Cresswell though.
Maybe maybe the other way. If we took Cresswell out and maybe put and then Emerson pushes forward, but then I don't know.
I always think it's just a very because like if you look at our team now, like no one ability wise. Let me think. Yeah, no one ability wise I can say has peaked as high as Trent at his very best.
But
Yeah.
Trent is very specific in what he has.
He's a very
picked at.
specific way. Yeah, no
Yeah,
one's
but-
ever peaked at that.
If
Are we
you
talking about the terrible defender?
if you do
Yeah.
have an outlier, like a player who is really like that good at like even if it's one particular skill set, like wouldn't you still kind of try to accommodate the set? Like,
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Like, if you're, I know, I get your point that
Yeah.
you would tailor your team to match that peak because it's
yeah,
so
yeah,
high.
yeah,
But the way that he's playing right now is not at that peak,
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely,
Yeah.
definitely far from that peak. Yeah,
and I don't know if it's not
essentially,
sustainable. But I don't know
essentially, Trent
it's
is
worth kind of changing your whole, because it's not just him that the Liverpool team
Yeah.
was built around as well. It
Yeah.
was him as well as Salah.
yeah, true.
And I think if you don't have Salah as well scoring 40 goals a season, I don't know if it's worth Trent
Mhm.
building around Trent.
Essentially, with players like Trent, like he's probably one of the best guys to have when he's at his best, and probably like the worst guys to have when he's not at his best, basically. Like I said, tit for tat, basically. Yin yang kind of player. It's just very, very, very tricky. But yeah,
Denzel, you want to cook him in it? What are you saying? What are you saying about Trent?
Certainly, the Wi-Fi is just moving crazy. I don't know what's going on. I'm trying for a good amount of time to get back, but I'm fine. I'm here now. I'm guessing you've already spoke about Liverpool, or should I say Loserpool, whatever you want to call them. Trash team. Trent, he can't defend. Like, you just can't defend to save his life. Like, I watched the game. The first goal, I can't even remember.
He didn't do much wrong in the first goal. I can't lie.
I feel like the first one was worse than the second one because he allowed the inside pass.
No, I disagree. I think the first goal he wasn't that bad. I think he just got caught flat-footed.
What do you think the second one? Because he went to go help his other man is worse.
Yeah, the second one was definitely.
I think allowing the inside pass. I don't know. For me, that just felt worse. But I can understand why you guys think the second one was worse. But he's just not that good defensively. But I will defend him. He's under the microscope a little more because the people have started this agenda that is crap at defending, which is true. But obviously, because the people know that it's crap at defending, they kind of over-exaggerate it a bit too much, which I'm here for. I hate Liverpool, so I don't mind. But he's not as... No, he's bad. He's bad. I wasn't going to say he's not as bad as people think he is. But he's a bad defender, but he's not as bad. In fact, no, he isn't as bad as people think he is.
He's naive.
But he's not a good defender. He's a bad defender.
I'll like Dan said yesterday on the group chat. I think like it's more naive defending than bad. I don't know if that makes sense, but like it's more like I would like half of defending is more about IQ. Like it's more about
bad defensive IQ.
It's not about like having the ability. Like Trent could like, you know, he has the ability to defend, but it's more like, and I also feel like he's always been comfortable. Like you say, like he's always been, you know, in that system or in a team where like he never really had to always defend as much, essentially. So now that Liverpool are playing poor and are not having the ball as much and are not having as much intensity, he's exposed to more 1v1 situations where he has to, you know, have better position and stuff. And yeah, I guess he just isn't used to it. Can't hack it really at this point. So, but yeah.
Mohamed Salah, what's going on with your boy already?
When it was Ozil and Aubameyang, the media loved raining on them.
Lee Judges in the building.
The media, exactly as Lee Judges says, when it was Ozil and Aubameyang, the media loved reminding everyone that they've got the contract and now they can't be asked. But because it's a certain media's favorite team, they don't want to say nothing. All right, man.
I don't know, man. Salary tire peaks, man. Like Aubameyang and Ozil never won us the title, or like UCL and stuff.
I mean,
like
both of them were very, very. Both of them were
very, very good. But I don't know. It's like sometimes play like what you do is like you do like deserve the benefit of the doubt. So like, and I feel like someone like Salah does deserve the benefit of the doubt for sure. Yeah, he hasn't started the season like, you know, incredibly well. But like, yeah, like it's also like Liverpool as well haven't started the season well too. So at the same time, it's kind of like also the whole squad really. But with Salah, what I can say,
but surely you look to players like Salah when the team is not playing well. You look to your best players to reinvigorate the team. The guy that you've just given 350 grand to, you look to him. Like, we're paying you a lot of money. You're probably the highest paid player on this team. When we're not playing well, we look to you to play well. And he's arguably been one of the worst. Against Arsenal, he was probably the worst player on the pitch aside from Trent.
Look, with Salah, yeah, he's not been recent, not just in this season. He did have a poor end to last season, and Liverpool were firing. So I don't know. The thing with him is that he's been like, I feel like he's improved over the last couple of years, or his overall quality as a player. But I feel like they're just asking too much. Like, I don't think he should ever be the main ball handler of the team, where you're looking to him to be the creative fulcrum of your team. I don't think he's that sort of player. I think he can mix it a bit, but ultimately you want him to be getting into the box, stretching defenses, and doing that. I think that quality should be left more to Trent and what's his name, Thiago, to be more of those that are, you know, pushing you to create and stuff like that. But Salah, I don't think that's his bag. And I think the assistant was saying that they've tried to push him a bit wider to unlock his playmaking and whatever, but I just don't think that's the sort of player he is, in my opinion. But yeah, Denzel, what's your thoughts on Salah's recent form?
It's not even recent form. This guy hasn't been good since AFCON, if we're being real. This guy's kind of been an average footballer since AFCON. I don't know what's going on with him. How old is Salah? Just out of curiosity, I don't.
29.
So maybe the time's catching up with him a bit. I don't know, but it's not looking good. He just doesn't look really dangerous as he used to look. And the thing about Salah before, he would make something out of nothing. I feel like he's kind of lost that ability in a sense. But it's not just him, it's the whole team, to be fair. Like, the whole team isn't performing well. So it's unfair to just point him out. But then again, he's supposed to be the main guy, so I guess it is reasonable to point him out. Yeah, he hasn't been good in a while, to be honest. I don't know why people are really bringing it up now. But like Dan said, it's because it's Liverpool. The media kind of go light on them because if they have a love, it's weird. I don't know what it is about Liverpool. Why the media?
They're scared of their fans' backlash, I think.
Like, I don't know. To me, with players like some players, once you like cross a particular, like someone like Kane as well too. He had was it last season where he wanted to move to Man City, and when like the move didn't go through, he had like a really bad start to the season or something like that. He only picked up like really later on. And did like when he secured but Kane started last season like really, really bad. But yeah, I don't know. It's just a bit. I think like players like I'm not too fussed about. I think he'll definitely like pick his form back. He'll start playing better like really soon again. But yeah, but it has been a while. True, like since AFCON, he's just kind of looked like a shadow of himself. You could also say like the AFCON like defeat kind of wore on him, but it's been a while now. Like he should have kind of gotten over it, but yeah, we'll see how he adapts like throughout the rest of the season. But yeah,
Sarah.
I mean, he's not chance creation wise. Like he's got three assists and 2 goals in 8 games. I said this earlier. Like he's just playing a lot deeper. And that triangle, which has been so good, Henderson, him, and Trent, it's just not it at the moment. But again, I think he will pick up as the season goes on. They just need to start. I'm concerned that they're just not going to figure out another way of chance creation, to be honest, because like with both the fullbacks out, Thiago is literally the only source of creativity, if we're being honest. And Firmino's been their best attacker, at the moment, so it'll be interesting to see what happens when they play City. But I wouldn't be surprised if they actually give City a game. You can just see it happening, to be honest. And Salah will probably pop up with like a double, with like a brace or something.
Is it home or away?
Good question.
Look,
it's it should be home, and Liverpool's home, I think.
Liverpool are home, yeah. So I reckon they'll give him a game.
Yeah, no, that makes it even more interesting then, because obviously at Anfield at their back, and after a defeat as well, they're gonna probably feel the need even more to show up. So no, that's gonna definitely be an interesting game.
You're going to Anfield midweek as well too. Like after they play City, they have West Ham at Anfield.
Oh yeah.
Hey, let's talk about West Ham. Sarah, how have you been feeling? How you?
So because I know see why I haven't been on. I haven't been on in a couple of weeks because I was waiting for us to pick up some form. You know what I mean? Let the boys come back into a bit of form. Let me be honest. We were shit for the first half of the season. Excuse my language. We were flat. Like even Declan Rice, like the worst I'd seen him play in a good few years. I think even now, I'll be honest. Fulham should feel hard done by. Like we did not play well. We didn't even deserve the win. At most, we deserved the draw. Some of the VAR decisions were a bit dubious, to be honest. I think the only reason we're picking up points at the moment is because of Scamacca, and Paqueta's obviously picked up a few assists. But Scamacca's just been clinical, man. He's been what Antonio should be doing. But generally, we've just been flat. I'll be honest. We've not looked at ourselves. Like even midweek against Anderlecht, we were flat again. Just sideways passing against teams we're meant to. Obviously, we're still working on our second phases of play and trying to dominate, but we're just not we're just not that team. I don't know what's going on. I think there's this saying where like David Moyes, and I think Denzel will probably agree with this, is like Moyes is good with a team that's limited, but as soon as he has options and players and a squad and star players, you can see sometimes where he trusts his old players. He trusts Souček when Souček's not playing well. He trusts Antonio when Antonio should be playing, and it just, I don't know. I think changes need to be made a little bit, and I just hope the Fulham result doesn't hide it. Do you know what I mean? Like we got the win. A win's a win, but long term, I just feel like changes need to be made. Like you mentioned Cresswell earlier on. Cresswell shouldn't be playing, man. Like, this guy, he can't defend. Like he's the Trent of our team. He creates the most chances, but this guy he can ping a ball. But yeah, it's been alright. We've got Anderlecht at home this season so we can secure round of 16 hopefully this week, and then probably start focusing on the league properly and trying to just solidify ourselves. Yeah, Paqueta's looked okay. Skamaka's been really good, to be fair. Yeah, Kira's been decent. But some like players like Souček and Soufal, the Czech boys who were meant to be our like renaissance back in 2020, they're just off. Yeah,
I do like the look of Skamaka. I think there's a player there definitely. Paqueta, I don't even know why he joined West Ham. No, disrespect.
I'm telling you, we have the pool.
You just have money, bro. That's it. What pool, bro? I don't know why.
No, it's because we beat Lyon last year, and Moyes liked the look of him. So.
Oh yeah, you did. Yeah. No. How much are you buying for again?
60. No. Yeah, it's 60 including add-ons. It's fat, mate. It's hefty.
The Barclays Super League, man.
Yeah, for real.
This is the Super League.
60. How much you buy?
Everybody has P's in the league, man. Like insane.
We have a Ukrainian partnership now with that Krasinski guy, so he owns 10% of the club.
Oh yeah.
And we have Man City's old sport director. So
yeah, I think I heard about
Daniel Newman. Yeah, the squad's good, the team's good. It's just we're just not playing well enough, to be honest. Like we played better at Wolves last week. So yeah.
But do you think is cause for concern? Because I know there was a bit of pressure on Moyes a couple of weeks ago. They were saying, he has to pick up results, or is it a thing where
he's built up enough credit? He's built up enough credit. I mean, he's nearly 150 million outlay in the summer. Like we've got, it's the same with Forest, isn't it? Like the amount of outlay, and they've given Cooper a new contract. Like Moyes has got credit in the bank, and he's got to be given time. But I have a sneaky suspicion that when you've got the slight disadvantage or the slight like like when we had a shit squad last year, like not as good, but we kept on going, we gave it a good go, and we surpassed our expectations. This season we have a squad. We literally have 2 players in every position that are quality. So there's not an excuse really. I wouldn't be surprised if we finish like 9th or 10th, but I don't know if we pick up the Conference League, that would be obviously an amazing achievement, unbelievable.
I wouldn't put my hat on that because there will be teams dropping down from the Europa League.
Yeah.
So that's going to be tough. So what are we saying? If West Ham, all of us, if West Ham got 9th and maybe a semi-final to the Conference League,
that's a successful investment.
So, but for the investment that they've put in this summer, is that a good season?
I think
it's realistic.
Probably not. And I think if at the start of the season, after the summer that you had, I think if we'd have said that to you, I think you'd be disappointed. But I think given the way the season started, I think it'd be all right.
Yeah.
Because realistically, our fans think we're not going to get in the top 6. Like to get in the top 6, we could get there. We're just going to drop back down again next season. Do you know what I mean? It's just
no, but I think 7th and 8th are up for the taking, though.
Yeah, absolutely, and that should be the goal minimum.
Which is why, for me, 9th is a bit below what you'd actually be aiming at.
I think a big part of it will be the points total as well. See how much they get. If it's like, how much did you get? You got over 60 points last season.
65, 60. Wait.
So like, if you got mid 50s, I think that would be disappointment. Even if you got, let's say you got 8th, you wouldn't get 8th for 55 points. Maybe you could actually, but I feel like that would be disappointing. I think points total will be a bigger indication.
I think the season before we finished higher with less points. We finished 6th with less points.
Yeah.
Have you played anything from the Big Six?
Say that again, Rory?
Yeah, have you played any team from the Big Six?
Chelsea, the one where Mendy and Bowen had that little.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
You guys got robbed. You guys got robbed. That game.
Yeah, but we were lucky against Spurs.
Yeah, but what I always say is that like you guys always do give Big Six teams a bit of like a really good game.
We give them a game, yeah. We always give them a game.
You should have beat Spurs, to be honest. They got lucky.
Yeah, Spurs as well.
Yeah, that's true.
We've got you guys soon.
Yeah, we got United. We got Liverpool. In a fortnight.
Let's quickly go over United then. Denzel, as our United correspondent, what was your thoughts on the win? What stood out for you in the performance?
I actually thought that we played alright. Like, even when we were down, like I think when we conceded the first goal, it was a poor goal to give away. I feel like after that we started playing good football. I thought it was a shame that Marshall went off injured in the first half. It's just his fitness is a big worry for me. Because when he's fit, he's a great player, but it's if buts and maybes, and it's just I don't know, it's just a mess. This guy coughing in the corner.
Can we have a debate then? At their best, who's better, Martial or Jesus?
Hey, relax, man. That stinks.
Who's better at their best?
Hey, that stinks, man.
And, when was the last year? Nah. Jesus is better at his best.
I felt like I said this like a year ago, and I'm pretty
Jesus
sure
is better than Martial at his best. But
yeah,
in fact, I don't.
Jesus is better.
Jesus was like 20 goals a season.
Martial.
Has Jesus got 20 goals in the season?
That's Martial.
I think
in
all comps.
Yeah, Martial got 20 goals a win.
Yeah.
In all comps, it's kind of embarrassing because he's been like
this guy bagged 10 goals in Europa League.
No, in the Premier League, there was a season where he got. It was
like him and Rashford. Him and Rashford got the same amount of goals.
18,
I think
he got 17.
What, Jesus?
No, Martial got 17. Martial's highest Prem tally is higher than Jesus, to be fair.
Yeah, so I'll take Prem Martial.
You can have him, man. You can have him.
But yeah, I don't know. I think the Martial FC in the United fan base is. I find it.
We love him.
Like they always like, no matter what, they just give him. Or they always give him a chance. Like he just can't.
It's all United players.
Because we know what is.
Man United players recover their stock so easily. Like you can be the crappiest player for 5 years and then have 6 good games, and Man United fans will start calling you the best player in your world in the position.
That's good. We have to back our team. We have to back our players. But he's how old is he? Like he's 27 or something like that. Isn't it? 26. Is he like 26, 27?
26, 25.
Oh, the guy's actually he's looking. He's aging a bit.
He's in his peak, man. He should be in his prime now.
Yeah. I feel like we know what he's capable of. That's why we love him so much. Even when he was playing, like his link-up play, dropping in deep, like his movement, Martial, like when on it, like he's
like I've always thought about him, like he's decent, but he was just always never going to be like that guy. Like, and he never would be.
I feel like if he stays fit this season, he will be that guy. But he can't stay fit, so he unfortunately is never going to be that guy.
I forgot. What's his best position? Is he playing up? Is he playing up front?
He's a striker.
Yeah.
Martial was a striker. Dropping in deep, linking up play is when he's at his best. Even in the small cameo that he had against Everton, he was. Do
you want him? Great. Do you want him dropping deep when you just want him running off the last defender?
No, when he drops in deep, links up play, like because he drops in deep and he allows the wingers. Like even him, like his pass to Anthony, like he drops in deep, played the ball to Anthony, Anthony scored. So he's really good at dropping in deep and linking up play and like being agile and mobile. That's why I really do like Martial. I can't like when he went off injured, I was upset. But in terms of the overall performance, I think we played well. The second half we kind of faltered a bit. Like it was a bit. I feel like we controlled the game. But the best period of play was probably when we got that second. Probably from when Everton scored to when we got the second goal. Like that was our best period of play. I feel like we could have got the third. I feel like Rashford's goal being ruled out was pretty harsh, to be honest, considering they gave Antonio's goal. So yeah, I thought it was a good performance. Actually, I actually feel like Ten Hag's implementing his ideas, and we're actually improving as a team. And obviously, CR7 goal it's a good thing to see. So yeah, it was a decent performance.
With what's his name? I wanted to give him credit. De Gea. I think he's been doing well this season. I can't lie.
He actually I think he had an 87% pass accuracy rate in this game. That's probably his highest ever at United because that guy is terrible at passing. So maybe
even outside of that, I just feel like he's just I think fundamentally for a goalkeeper, outside of shot stopping, is commanding your area, and I think he's been doing.
Yeah, he's starting to improve on that late in his career, which is a bit worrying. But
better than never in it. But
yeah,
he's still young.
I think he should renew his contract. Yeah, definitely.
Hey, allow it. Nah, I feel like
I saw Rio Ferdinand saying to him.
I was
like,
what? This guy like, yeah, get him. It reminded me of the Oli.
Well, you signed a contract, but David.
It's ridiculous. Like, what are you doing?
A lot of the kind of bad stuff that goes on in your club. I can't even lie. Between Rio Ferdinand, Gary Neville, and Oli, poof, and who is it? Fletcher that you've got in the board.
Yeah.
I think players are kamikaze in your club.
Yeah, man. It's true. Gary Neville loved Oli, man. Gary Neville loved Oli, man.
I think, and for him to say David De Gea should give him a new contract is actually ridiculous. Because there was even a report that came out. I can't remember the journalist, but it said that Ten Hag is like told United to hold on all like new contracts. That players after that actually try and earn their contracts. Because once they get new contracts, they start falling off. Like we've seen it with a couple players, and it's just like they're earning new contracts too easily. So even though Rashford's got a year left on his contract, I feel like he has to earn that extension.
I think they'll extend Rashford's anyway though, so they can get a fee for him if they want to sell him. Because it's
we're interested in
to sell him though, because he's starting to pick up form. He is this season.
Yeah, but if you decide to sell him, like who knows?
I don't know. I think Rashford's performances have been a bit mid. I don't.
You
really
think so?
Yeah,
really. I think he was actually quite good in this game.
Okay.
He played
compared to what he's capable of and what he's shown.
Yeah, but he's warming up. I think he'll get back there.
I heard that, but I haven't really seen enough to warrant anything. But I mean, Sancho has been poor.
Yeah, Sancho. I have to come out and say it. Even when I saw he wasn't in the starting lineup, I didn't bat an eyelid because he's been crap. But I just have to be honest about it. Casemiro, I'll be honest. I don't know how the hell he got man of the match. Oof.
No, he recovered from the mistake well.
I thought that was a bit. He did have a decent game, but
it was a good assist from Ronaldo. I don't know.
From the first part of the game, he didn't like saying it well. Like towards the end, he did like play a bit better. I did think the man of the match was a bit premature. It's still like a lot of players they have like someone like Xhaka now. It took him 6 years to win his first man of the match award. So like it's like a lot of players just have like reputation, and like Casemiro having that reputation from Madrid, like you know, just got him that man of the match award.
I didn't understand it because if he lost the ball so many times, I think him getting the assist probably recovered it for him. But I don't know, like he looked very shaky. Like Onana was putting pressure on him. He got bodied a couple of times as well. Like maybe it's because it's his first time in the Prem.
I think Onana just brings intensity. And
yeah,
I think
he had a decent game.
Like first or second start, then you're probably not used to that intensity.
Yeah, 100%. Prem intensity is different level, 100%. But you know one thing, I do see why you guys wanted Frankie de Jong though. You do need Frankie in that midfield because you can't have
from the second phase, like from the defenders into the midfield. I feel like you guys kind of struggle to get the ball from your third into the middle third, which is why I think you want to deal.
Because you can't have Casemiro doing that because we saw at Real Madrid. Like
Modric not good enough to do it.
Yeah, Modric and Kroos were always the one that would help progress, especially Kroos. Kroos was the one that always came deepest. I think he's trying to do that with Eriksen a bit, but I don't know. I don't think
Eriksen's never played that deep though.
Yeah,
Like,
I
he's
don't.
never
I can't
played
lie.
that deep.
This game, it was probably not the best game for him. He didn't really play that well in this game, but he has worked well in that system like in previous games. So it's just a minor blip. One thing I want to say is Anthony, 3-3. Like he's had a good start to life at United. He's not necessarily, what's the word? He's not necessarily. He doesn't really affect the game in like mass periods. But when he gets,
he times his run well. He times his run well.
He's clinical.
When he gets his chance, he's very, very effective. And I like he tracks back as well. That's another thing that I like about him. He does work hard. So I'm enjoying Anthony Ball at the moment. Obviously, a certain man doubted him, but it's early days. 3-3. It's looking good to me, but we'll see.
Early days. He doesn't move me like the finish that he does. It is cash money really, but I don't know why keepers don't like expect it really. Like he never goes near post. He always goes like far wide. But yeah, he doesn't move me. Like even like he probably be okay, but like he's not going to be like a special guy for United.
Yeah.
Like he's not going to be a standout player. He's not going to be
first player to score 3-3 for United. It's okay.
Yeah, that's cool, man. But he's not going to be Mo Salah. He's just going to be a normal, okay Premier League
He
winner.
scored more goals than Salah this season.
He's just going to be a regular Joe. Like,
yeah, just a regular Premier League winner.
He's not going to be a guy that can like
gas up after he has 5 good games.
Take you up there, like lead you to like great heights, in my opinion. Like,
he's a baller.
Eventually, he probably become a squad player, in my opinion. If you guys decide to actually like become a more serious team, like challenging for titles and like UCLs and stuff. But as of the moment, he's cool. He's better than Sancho.
Yeah,
he plays with a bit more intensity than Sancho. Yeah. I'm going to give him a bit more time, but
he's a baller.
Yeah, like I do agree with what Ori is saying. He doesn't necessarily move the needle in the sense he's not like. That's the thing. I don't always look at wingers in the same light. You don't have to be 1v1 direct winger, but I don't know. You just have to play with a certain intensity and
he plays with intensity. It's just that he has the same package. He has the same move. You know what he's gonna do every single time he gets the ball, which is like he does that silly little rollover thing 3 times, and he bounces it back, or he'll drive and cut in, which is like Ori said, it's cash money. If he keeps on doing that and keeps on getting goals, then you can't argue with the guy. Like I like what I'm seeing so far. I like the passion. That's the thing. I like United. Last season we lacked passion. We lacked players.
This is exactly what they were saying.
He needs to start.
James signed against Chelsea.
Don't compare.
This is exactly what they were saying.
It's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. It's not the same thing.
Nah, joking.
Ori, what did you say?
He needs to start taking on players. He starts taking up players. Like,
but when you look at I was even just looking at him briefly. He doesn't actually take on players.
He doesn't take on players. No, he doesn't take on players. He's just like every time he wants to, he either cuts back or just like passes the ball back. But he does have decent movement, I feel. And like I said, like the finishing thing is really cash money. Like no one ever like. I think he does take it really, really far wide. I guess that's why it's kind of hard for keepers to kind of save the shot.
It was a bad finisher. I remember. I was told it was a bad finisher. Before we signed him.
An okay finisher.
I was told that he's a great finisher.
This year's start of the season is definitely an over exaggeration of his abilities, but yeah, good.
It's not easy. Barclays to come in the first 3 games and bag in the first 3 games. It ain't easy, man. We need to give the guy credit. But one thing I will say is, though, we do need to go for Gakpo. I feel like we do need another attacker because we need a more direct attacker. What? Yeah.
How many wingers do you need?
How many wingers?
The thing is, the system that we play in is
£100 million.
You guys need.
Yeah, because of Gakpo can play as a striker. That's why we're looking at.
That's not his best position.
Yeah, but you don't. I just like you guys don't need a guy who can play as. You guys need a striker. You guys haven't had like a God bless Ronaldo and stuff. But you guys haven't actually had like a striker, like a young, hungry, like striker. Really, like I don't know. I don't know.
We haven't had a great striker since RVP. Really.
Yeah.
CR7 isn't a great striker.
Yeah, but all the strikers you've signed have been like over
Okay,
30. Like
barring CR7, obviously, yeah.
Cavani,
Leicester,
Falcao,
That's
Ibra.
Leicester,
Like,
You don't need to bar CR7, man, because like I know he put up good
Bro,
numbers.
this guy bagged how many goals last season? Come on now, don't be silly. Don't be
To be honest,
yeah, but you still need a striker, Denzel. Like, it's not.
Yeah, we do, 100%. We do need a striker.
if
He's saying,
we're being-
we haven't had a good striker since RVP.
If we're talking about players that put like numbers up, like Benteke has put numbers up. So,
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Yeah,
He's got 18 goals. That doesn't mean he's been a fantastic striker.
Like,
Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
No, let's be real.
As you said,
Let's be
Rush
real.
got 18 goals.
Let's be real.
Stop, man.
Me,
Stop,
I don't rate Ronaldo,
stop.
but let's be honest. If you give Ronaldo a chance, he's still gonna bag.
he's still gonna bag. Yeah, 100%.
He's still gonna bag. Like
This guy,
that's
if
the
we
way
didn't
it
have
is.
CR7 in our team, we finished like in Conference League position. Maybe not even.
Relax,
we don't even get
relax.
Europe probably. No,
Relax.
it's facts.
No. Because I remember on the podcast last season we were constantly cooking him saying that he wasn't good. He only turned up with the last like 10 games, and
What?
it was meaningless, bro.
What?
Bro, he bunched loads of his goals together. He wasn't good all season.
Oh my gosh.
He wasn't good for.
What are we doing?
Ronaldo wasn't good for large periods of like.
Oh my god.
Obviously, it's not
insane,
his
man.
fault because obviously you man were in disarray. But let's not pretend that he was.
Are you telling me
Bro,
Ronaldo had?
without
Are you
CR7,
telling me
we don't
Ronaldo
even
had a
finish in Europe.
consistent?
It's
Are you
facts.
telling me? Are you
It's
telling me he
facts.
had a consistent
I made a
season?
statement. What? So you think we would have finished in the European position if CR7 wasn't in our team?
He'd finished 7th for sure, minimum 7th.
Yeah, you probably would have finished 7th. Yeah, probably.
I don't even know about that, but
You know,
Ronaldo wasn't
He's
there.
got a hat tricks in 2 games, one after the other. And so he's got 18 goals. So a third of his goals came in 2 games.
Yeah, he wasn't.
you
good
scored
for
less
that.
goals last season than you did the season
And
before.
if Ronaldo wasn't there, like another player would be there as your striker, and that guy probably would maybe get at least 12, 13 goals minimum. So the whole idea of like, oh, wait, is Denzel still there?
Oh, he's frozen. Oh,
He is
right.
frozen.
I didn't even know. But like what we're saying with Ronaldo is not really a negative. Like the guy will get you goals no matter what.
Yeah,
so.
he will get goals. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I just wouldn't
You
really.
will, but it's like you said, Josh. A lot of them goals came at the end of the season, and like I said, he scored
one
2
thing
hat
I
tricks
would
at the end of the season against Norwich, who were the worst team in the league, and Spurs. I'll give him credit for the Spurs one, but
Yeah, Spurs are
like
really
that's out of 18 goals, that's 6
same
of his
here, man.
18. He wasn't great for the
What?
season.
What? So because he bagged hat tricks is weird. What is going
I'm sa-
on here?
No,
We said to you
bro,
that
like
he wasn't good for the entire season, and a lot of his goals came bunched together. He scored 18 goals, and 6 of them came in 2 games.
What? So it was a bad
I
season.
wasn't
guarantee.
Denzel,
It was a
can I
bad
ask you a question?
season. It was a bad season.
Denzel, can I ask you a question? Denzel, can I
Yeah,
ask you a question?
yeah.
If a player has 10 games and there's a
Yeah.
player who scores 2 hat tricks and 1 goal in 10 games, and there's another player that's 7 goals in 10 games, and there's another
Yeah.
player who scores in 7 different games or in 6 different games and has 6 goals in 10 games, who are the better performers?
Obviously the latter, but he bagged.
That's
No, the
exactly
thing is,
what
you're acting
Ronaldo
like
was doing.
he only scored.
That's
You're acting
exactly
like
what I'm saying.
this is the thing though. You're acting like he bagged 2 hat tricks, then didn't score for the rest of the whole season.
Nah, he's not. Ronaldo didn't have a bad. Ronaldo had.
I mean, 12 goals.
The guy bagged. How many goals did he bag? Oh,
Bagged
this
18.
is
He
ridiculous.
scored 18, but without them 2 hat tricks, 12 is
18 in
not
the league.
massively impressive.
He had
18 goals in the league. Okay.
He had a good enough season.
We're rubbing out hat tricks. Cool. We're rubbing out
He had a
hat tricks.
good
No, we're not. But
Holland
we're saying
scored
that
3
he
hat
wasn't
tricks in the
great.
league.
You know
Let's
what?
just
He
rub
wasn't
it out.
great for the entire season. He
Holland has
wasn't-
5 goals in the league. Holland has 5 goals in the league. Seeing as we're rubbing out hat
He
tricks.
wasn't. But no, you're missing the point. The point we're
Take it
making
out
is
of
that
context on purpose.
he wasn't good for the entire season. His goals came in a bunch. So in a lot of games he was doing nothing, especially at the beginning and middle of the season. He was doing nothing because he's
And
not
what you're
beginning.
His first game,
And
he
what you're
bagged like
saying
2
about
goals.
and what you're saying about like take Ronaldo out of the team is the kind of thing people always say, like, oh, if we take out the keeper out of the team, then we would have. But if you took out the keeper, there'll be another
Exactly.
keeper in there. It's not like you're going to like leave the position open. If you took Ronaldo out, you'd have had another striker there. And if you had another striker last season, I don't know, but like
Yeah,
any other
Cavani.
striker.
But Cavani was injured a lot though. To be honest.
Yeah,
so.
who would have been there?
But just because the person who
If you
scored the
didn't
most
have
goals-
Ronaldo, then you would have signed somebody else who would have been there. So
and also, just because you have a player who scores the vast majority of your goals, it doesn't mean you'll be worse without them. Man United had Ruud van Nistelrooy back in the day, who scored 30 goals a season. He was by far the top scorer. You sold him and became a way better team, and no one got even near that amount.
No, I'm not disputing. I'm talking about last season. I'm not disputing this season. But you're saying like we haven't had a good striker since RVP. Like Ronaldo isn't a good striker. Like, come on now.
I mean, he had Zlatan as
great
well.
striker.
Zlatan
Oh yeah, exactly. Ibra too. Yeah, Ibra too.
When he came back to you, he wasn't great. Last season was great.
By goal scoring standard, what's the striker's job?
By goal scoring standard, last season was great.
Bro, I'm pretty sure this guy come back. Like no one had met those numbers since Ronaldo.
18 goals.
Yeah, no one had made those numbers for United since him previously.
I think that's more.
I'm pretty sure his goal tally was the last person to match his goal tally from last season for United was him when he left United.
Well, you talking about no
Martial didn't score 18 goals.
Yeah,
that's not true.
Martial didn't score 18. Rashford didn't score 18.
RVP had like 20 something.
No, it was a statistic.
No, I think I know
what you're talking about. He bagged last season. No one's bagged those amount of goals since he was last at United.
But Martial scored 18 as well.
No, I'm talking about in all comps.
I think you're talking about a different stuff because I do remember hearing something about Ronaldo.
I think that's number 7. I don't think he had
probably is number 7 or something.
Yeah, it might be number 7.
RVP also had more goals or comps
because Zlatan scored a lot of goals. He scored 20 plus as well under Mourinho. So
fair enough. Well, we've had 3 decent strikers since the Ferguson era.
Obviously, look, we can't rub out what Ronaldo did. He's there to score goals.
I think the CR7 just.
But you know what? To me, the fact that it's even a debate and a discourse just means that they aren't the level that's required for you. Let's be real, because like the fact that we're even having a debate about it, like no one is going to have a debate about whether Haaland is a good you get what I'm saying? Like,
as of right now, I'm not gonna say he's a good striker now. I won't say he's a good striker as of now because if he starts behind Martial and Rashford. Like I can't sit there and say he's a good striker. I'm
trying to say like the fact that we're having even about last season, the fact that we're having a discussion and debate about the fact whether he was good enough or not, to me just means he really wasn't the level.
I disagree. But,
I think we will agree to disagree with this one.
Yeah.
Let's move on to another favorite of the podcast, Leicester. They lost another game.
Well, I didn't even know. Wait, they lost to who?
They lost to Bournemouth.
Hey, I didn't even know that. I don't check for Leicester no more. I just know
also, Forest took a point from against Villa just now.
Yeah,
they have moved
for a row recently.
So Leicester are back in.
Oh yeah, no, I remember seeing the
Leicester are back in last place.
I'll
read out the so 9 games played, 1 win, 1 draw, 7 losses, 15 goals scored, 24 conceded, goal difference -9.
Yeah, they scored quite a few goals. That's
points.
No, it doesn't matter because
yeah,
thinks it's good.
No, but I'll be real.
This
so bad. The word is so bad. I'll be real. The word is so bad. Danny Ward, that is.
Yeah.
He's atrocious, really. But with that being said, they still haven't really showed anything. They're probably in a relegation battle, maybe. Probably, yeah.
They shouldn't be, but
I have a question.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Who do they get if they sack Rodgers though?
Sean Dyche.
Lopetegui.
No, he's going Wolves, isn't it?
Sean Dyche goes to Wolves already.
He's going Wolves.
I thought Lopetegui was going Wolves. Or was that not?
Yeah, Lopetegui's going Wolves. You know, Wolves have the George Mendes link, so any George Mendes guy.
Them crook agents.
So realistically, who they getting? You're saying Sean Dyche?
I'm just saying that's
worse than Dyche. Like, I don't think he'd be bad.
I think Sean Dyche should be good, actually.
He'll save them from getting relegated.
Sean Dyche should definitely not get Leicester relegated. 100%.
I think, but going forward, do you think?
Ollie, get Ollie in.
Ollie's not a bad shout, you know.
That's a shout.
Ollie's not a bad shout.
I wouldn't trust Ollie.
I think Ollie's having a break, you know.
He is, but I think he suits the way Leicester played at their best, counter-attacking, transition.
I wouldn't get Ollie.
It makes sense to me.
I don't think it's bad. I don't think
it's not a bad shout, but
Rafa Benitez.
That could work, but I feel like he's a work.
Probably
He's washed.
the manager who left Marseille, Sampaoli, as well.
He
So
went
he
to
did
Sevilla.
well.
He's gone to Sevilla.
Oh, is it?
Who's
Yeah, he's
gonna,
gone to Sevilla.
Who else is on the market? Thomas Tuchel, no chance. Pochettino,
No.
Yay. Respect Tommy T. Where do you think Tommy T's next destination is, though?
He's going to a small
Bayern.
team.
Bayern. Let's just go for
Bayern.
Pochettino because his stock's already fallen. He was interviewing with Nice.
Tuchel's going Bayern for sure.
Tedesco.
Oh, the Leipzig.
Yeah, the guy who left. Like, yeah.
I'm not sure about that one.
Maybe Lucien Favre.
Yeah.
Mm,
There's managers available to you.
Yeah, but
There
there
are
are not
managers.
that many amazing managers that blow you
Yeah.
away. But then again, it's
I mean, for
Leicester.
Leicester. I mean,
Leicester
you're gonna
is-
get.
I mean, they probably would have gone for De Zerbi if Brighton hadn't got him.
Yeah, probably.
That's a shout. That's a shout there. But I think we're all in agreement that they have to move on from Rodgers now. I think the project is completely stale. I didn't even buy him.
Can they even afford? They can't afford to sack him.
No.
Why not?
They can't afford to sack him.
I don't know. They've got issues with
Like
FFP. I
Taylor,
think.
yeah.
Actually, they should be able to because they're still Fofana, but apparently their cash flow is really bad.
Yeah, they had some debt issues. I
Mm.
don't know how. I think
I don't know
they
how
spent
as well.
quite a bit last season. I think they spent quite a bit, but still.
Their squad was. The squad was quite. They had quite a high wage bill.
I don't know how they just didn't get another keeper. So strange.
Yeah, that shows you how broke they are, though. The fact that they didn't actually go and buy another keeper.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's pretty insane.
And you know what's funny? Because Schmeichel's been bad for Nice as well.
He was.
Yeah.
He was bad for Leicester last season as well. So.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was on the decline there. So
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying about the project. I think everything's just gone stale. Like, the players don't want to play for Rodgers.
But they still have very good pieces, though.
yeah, they do.
Yes,
They do.
Yeah.
But how can Iheanacho and Daka still not be getting game time? Okay, now they are. Now they are because they're doing crap.
We just have to accept Vardy's washed. Like
The last 2 seasons, they bought 2 strikers, or they bought Daka in anyway, and they barely played either of them. And Iheanacho, when he went through that spell, I think it was it last season, the season before, when he was playing as a poor man's Harry Kane, he was actually like linking up play very well. He was scoring goals, and then Rodgers decided not to play him the whole of last season. I don't know. Maddison's been their only shining light. To be fair, he's actually been good.
Yeah,
And he's only been like starting to turn up the last year. Really.
Yeah, I still don't like him.
I think he had a hip injury that was bad for a minute.
Yeah. But no, Maddison, he's a good player, man.
And then it's just like Sumare hasn't worked out. Tielemans wants to go. Harvey Barnes has been average. Like,
yeah, their project has gone completely stale. But
Didi can't stay fit to save his life as well.
He starts falling as well.
And he's falling off as well. So, yeah.
But a team that's on the rise though is Newcastle. They're looking very good under Eddie Howe. Do you think he's the guy that can take them into the top 6, or you think they're gonna have to get that?
Yeah.
He's just a bridge.
He's
get close. He won't get there.
We're basically saying, are they going to do a West Ham?
Wait, Ori, what did you say? Sorry?
I said he's definitely a bridge, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Top 6 is like even if he gets them there, it would just be barely 6th. Definitely be around like 7th, 8th. Probably what he'll peak at. At some point, they would like upgrade on him, but I don't think that would be for a while, really, because like I don't know. It depends on how fast their project does go, how quickly they get new players and all of that. But yeah, at the moment, he could prove me wrong, and it turns out to be
because they've been consistent, but if you look at since they got the takeover, I think they're like 4th or 5th in terms of points won.
And deep it, their home form is scary. Like St. James's,
no one finds it easy there. No one.
Yeah, I think it also depends on, like I said, how fast they're trying to. Because to be fair, Eddie Howe, across a long period of time, he could potentially be that guy, maybe. But short term, it's not really likely. But their squad also short term isn't also so if they just if Eddie Howe like improves with the squad and the squad also gets better and everything just keeps on, then yeah, it could be likely maybe, but it's one of those ones I can't really say, but the league is also really like tough. So top six is incredibly hard to even attain, especially for like Newcastle and stuff. But and soon enough they probably want to try and sneak into higher finishing positions and stuff like that. So but yeah, Super League.
I don't know if it is that hard to break into though, because inevitably one of the top six is going to have a bad season. It happens every single season. Every single season, one of the top six massively underperforms.
Yeah, but they normally end up finishing in the top six though. Like the top six.
But I mean, that's not necessarily true in the last couple
Depends
of
on who
seasons.
it is that
Like Arsenal finished 8th twice in a row. Spurs finished 7th. Like Leicester finished.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like teams like Arsenal, Spurs, United, especially in recent years, like when they underperform, then there's a very high chance of finishing like.
Yeah.
But I think even with Liverpool underperforming this season, I think Liverpool still definitely make the top six, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, I agree with that.
So yeah, like underperforming is kind of different for different things, especially in previous years, like the level that they kind of like reached eventually.
Maybe, but there's no guarantee that like when Newcastle progress, so in like 2-3 years time, that
another team wouldn't have dropped off. That's true.
Like Liverpool, I think might drop off in 3 years time.
They might. Depends on who they get
like Chelsea, Spurs.
Depends on who they get to replace Klopp. Spurs would drop off.
Yeah, so I think there's definitely a capability if they remain consistent and just keep building.
Yeah, and just keep building. True.
And like their player signings have been smart. Like they haven't gone for like stars, but they've gone for like Guimaraes, Botman. Like they are smart signings.
Ballers.
Yeah, he's really good.
Players like Burn, etc. They'll be shifted out. Longstaff, Target, but they're just good squad players to have. Do you know what I mean? Like Almiron's had a good little renaissance.
Yeah, Grealish, look what you've done.
Ever since Grealish said that, I can't hear Almiron's name without.
Yeah, no, he's a walk on a beast. Messi, watch out. Almiron's got something for them. I'm telling you.
He's going to finish with like more goals and assists than Grealish this season. I would do anything for him to just like make a tweet or something, or like at Grealish. That would be so.
You're playing like
you probably didn't understand what Grealish was saying, man.
Yeah. Let's final topic. Let's look at the Champions League, because we haven't stated who our favorites are. I think we're probably going to say Man City is the favorites, but we say that every season. So. But yeah, let's ask it. Who's the favorites? Who's the favorites for the champs?
PSG. Well, I always support PSG every season.
You know what it is?
Go ahead, Denzel.
I can't. Or he might be cooking something, because I can't lie. It just seems better. Like they have a coach that has a philosophy. The midfield has been sorted out. They have a bit more depth to their team.
Man, their midfield is stacked, to be fair.
Exactly. I don't think it's a bad shout, actually. PSG is actually a good shout. Makes sense.
To be honest, I haven't watched a single game of PSG, so I don't actually know their level right now. But I don't know. There's always something with them.
They just need those guys to. The thing is that, like, with the players they have, if any of them really clicks, then they should definitely be winning the Champions. Like, imagine Messi hitting form like at the right time, like. Oh my god, like that is insane. You get like, or even Mbappe hitting form at the right time, or Neymar, with those like quality of players. And now imagine if 3 of them hit form at the right time. That would be insane. But it's all just really about how they do in the knockout stages. Like they would always get to the round of 16s and all of those. Like it's really just from quarters and stuff where they come up against the like serious teams. They just kind of need to be able to hold their own, really. Yeah, but it should be interesting. I would really love PSG City final.
You know what? Madrid actually look a bit better this season.
I was going to say
I'm
saying Madrid. I'm saying Madrid.
Every season, you kind of always have to say Madrid, like just because of their like. So Madrid will always be favorites every season, no matter what. But oh no, this guy's falling off though. Or maybe not falling off, or just gone back to his previous level. Benzema.
He's
been
injured, isn't he?
He's
He's injured.
He's been injured.
He's been but the games he has played, he's not like
Didn't he miss a pen against?
he
like,
did.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
And he missed like a sitter as well. He's just not been. He's had a lot of games where he hasn't really done anything really. Vinicius has
he
carried
has
on.
been.
Vinicius has carried on his form from last season, but Benzema has just kind of
Yeah.
like dropped off a bit. Yeah, like I don't know. I don't really see them.
I think Champions League. I'll be honest, this is the most open it's been. I can't
You
call
know
it.
who the dark
I don't
horse
think it
for
is.
getting to the quarter semi-finals is?
Who-
Keep an eye out for Club Brugge. I've seen they've
Oh.
won
They're cooking
3 out of
something
3.
there.
No, you laugh, but they've won 3 out of
They're
3.
cooking
They've not
something,
conceded
yeah.
a single goal. Keep an eye
Yeah.
out for them.
Yeah,
I know they have
they
some
are.
young players that are cold as well.
Ooh, Napoli are
They've
looking
got
good.
Bamba, innit?
Napoli are looking
Napoli,
good.
Napoli are actually in form, but
Yeah.
Italian teams are rubbish, aren't
The
they?
Italian teams are
But
good. I
Napoli
don't
have
know, Napoli do
a
look
group
really
that's quite
good.
favourable though.
Really good.
Yeah.
I don't know. They've snagged like what they scored 10 goals against Ajax and Liverpool. Like that's insane, really.
But Liverpool are nowhere near.
Who's that? Who's that winger? That 21-year-old like Georgian winger.
Was the
like-
Georgian?
Yeah,
he's a
yeah.
baller.
He's doing
I
sick.
haven't seen much of him.
I-
Man.
I-
haven't
I
seen
I watched him
much.
against.
I need to
Liverpool.
watch him.
It's cold.
Nah, he's nice. He's nice.
I'm just trying to see who else again. How
Him
do
and
you
Mudryk from Shakhtar.
how do you think Chelsea will do, George?
Chelsea.
Yeah.
I think they will get better under Potter. I don't see champion, but Chelsea are always good knockouts.
We're squeezing into quarter. Chelsea are good at knockouts. That's the thing. That's the thing. Yeah.
Chelsea are.
I kind of feel Chelsea might have a good run. I can't lie to you. I think Chelsea might have a good run.
If N'Golo gets fit again, then you could say something, but
I think Angola's out for the next game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's got another injury.
I don't know. You can't rely on.
Then this guy's
Jorginho
been scoring recently as well.
and
Aubameyang as well too.
less of that, man. Less of that. Less of that.
Hey, you see what he said about Teto?
Oh yeah.
Unnecessary, man.
Oh yeah,
He
I
apologized,
saw that.
I
He
rate that.
apologized.
If that's
Crazy.
what he calls an apology, but yeah, he did say.
What did he say in the apology?
No, but he said he
He
had
put some tweet out.
he said
He
he
was
had
like,
he was in a bad mood or something.
Yeah, he was like, I
Yeah,
had
he said that he was-
bad
yeah.
feelings in this moment. I wish nothing but the best.
Yeah, he kept it real though. I respect that. He admit
talking
like,
about?
yo, man's salty about it. You know.
Was that
I don't
clip-
necessarily agree
was
with
that
him. I
clip
think like he just asked Aubameyang basically not to turn
Aware,
up.
he said, aware there's a video out that was recorded just after I arrived at Box. So at the time, I still had a lot of bad feelings in me. Arsenal are doing great things this season, and I wish all my old guys well, just not on November 6th. Winky face emoji. Now, full focus on tomorrow. Blue emoji. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't really care too
Blue
much about
emoji.
that anymore.
It's the emojis.
This guy's still commenting on Troops IG page.
This
man.
guy's still doing swag.
Not
Oh
really.
man, I
ridiculous,
forgot about that guy. What's he saying? I completely forgot about Troops.
It's
He
true.
went Hollywood, didn't
I don't even know.
he? On America.
He's living
Hey,
out.
on the side note, Juventus are poor. Oh my
It's a leg
days.
They're
to be
trash.
And they're not going to sack Allegri because, like, what they have to pay him. If
They can't afford to sack him. They can't
He's
afford to sack him.
insane. So, and he's awful. He's really awful.
Hey, we need to talk about Xavi. If Xavi doesn't get out of the group,
but it's so country because they're doing so well in La Liga, but like it's
So-
just Champions League is just isn't reflecting like.
Why'd they go ham in the window for? They want champs. They want obviously they want La Liga back, but champs is the reason why.
I think they were
want
unlucky though in both games. Barcelona.
They should come and join us in Europa.
I think they were unlucky. Like the game against Bayern, I think they looked very good, and I think
Yeah,
Lewandowski
they
was
did.
free
They
sitters.
probably look better than Bayern.
And then Inter
yeah.
Milan, I think they got
They
caught
look
on a
better.
counter-attack.
They should still make it into round of 16, but it would be interesting.
You
if
think
they
they
come.
will?
I think they. Who's in there? Let's see the table.
Inter.
It's
Inter's
Inter and Bayern.
Inter and Bayern. Bayern are basically through. They've won.
Bayern are
three.
basically through.
If they can beat Inter at the new camp, then and get a draw.
Yeah, I guess that would literally just be the game, yeah. Whether they and then how Inter perform against Bayern.
Yeah.
But if Bayern are through, then they wouldn't have as much to play for. It's going to get interesting.
But yeah,
But
Fleck are doing rubbish.
Ori, I know you're gonna like what I'm gonna say, but you see Lewandowski big games.
Yeah.
Oh, this guy is
Yeah,
shaky,
he's
man.
not really
He's
that
a
guy.
he's a shook warrior, bro. Big
Yeah, he's
games.
not really that
He's
guy.
been like that for time though. It's just because he bags 40 goals a season that no one
You know,
sees him.
there was a stat I think I saw that like I think 57 out of his like 92 Champions League goals came from teams that are not in the top 5
Leagues.
European leagues. Yeah. So
That's crazy.
yeah, that is
That's a
just
crazy
not,
stat. I can't lie.
that is just not
My dear.
that's just not good enough, really.
Yeah.
Well,
And
I
even in
don't
the
know.
knockout stage, most of his goals are like the third or fourth goal in like a 4-1 win.
Yeah. So that's all too. But yeah, if Barcelona should come to Europa, that would be interesting.
They won't win it.
I'd like to see an Arteta and Xavi face off.
Arsenal would win.
You sure?
Yeah, I
Hey,
don't.
Barca got obviously I've sold my stocks in Usman, but Usman Dembele.
I actually think
I'll
Arsenal
make it
would be.
more.
Arsenal
All
would
I
be
know is
Barcelona.
that it would be a good game. I'd like to see that.
Mm.
It would be a close
Arsenal
game.
would
Though.
win.
It would be a close
Inter
game.
coming to Europa will just be boring as hell.
Yeah, Inter. You know, I even forgot. I don't know what game I was watching of them, and I saw Lukaku on the bench. I was like, oh yeah, Lukaku still plays football. You know,
He does.
Like,
Yeah,
see
what's
his
going on with him at
Instagram?
Inter? He was crying.
He's
It's kinda
injured.
like
He's
Like,
injured right
when
now.
he was on the bench looking fire, but you know we scored.
Yeah. Bro, I'm telling you, Lukaku
This
is
guy's
not a
from
real
Belgium, bro.
guy.
This guy's from the mean street, Anderlecht, or wherever the hell
He's
he's
so
from.
funny, man. He's actually
Like,
hilarious.
come on.
He's shorty on the bench. He's just not. He's not a serious guy, man.
Wait, Jekko, 36-year-old Jekko is starting ahead of him.
Bro,
No, but
he
he's
thinks
injured
he's a
right now.
basketball
He's
player. I'm
injured,
telling you
so,
now.
Yeah.
Lukaku wants to be in the NBA so bad. Like,
Juventus could also come to Europa.
yeah.
They'll get knocked out.
Yeah, because Benfica are second, aren't they?
Yeah, there's a 4-point. Yeah, Juventus probably would get come to.
Spurs could drop down as well.
Actually, it's looking like Juventus, Sevilla. Yeah, it's good. A lot of like decent teams would actually come to
Sevilla also. They're not in a good place.
Milan as well. Will probably drop to Milan as well. Probably drop to Europa as well.
Really?
If Milan get their full team, they will be a problem though.
They
Because
would.
when
Yeah,
they played against Chelsea,
Milan will beat Salzburg because Salzburg have like 2 draws and a win. So I think
because what's it called? Milan don't have Teo Hernandez right now, who's arguably
they're
one of the
missing a
best
lot of
left
their
backs.
stars.
Yeah, they always have problems with injuries. That team, man. But they are a good side.
The only thing I really care about Europa is just I like the fact that it gives you Super Cup. It gets you to the Super Cup this thing. I want us to play in the Super Cup. Like, I'm so eager to see us against like a very, very serious team. Even whether we get beaten or whatever, but I just really want to see how we would play against like,
The continental side, isn't it? Especially
European side.
like the Bayern,
that-
the Real Madrid,
No, you'll be in champs next year, so we'll see it soon.
And yeah, like we're saying, you might get a big team. Definitely a big team will drop down from the Europa League. 100%.
Juventus will be
It's
one.
guaranteed at this point.
Yeah.
But Juventus
But
will
I
be
mean,
snapped up by
even if you
anyone.
got, even if you got Juventus, I don't think they're a challenge right
yeah,
now.
that's all.
No,
Yeah, that's
never.
all. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
all.
Most teams are beating Juve.
Like Barcelona is a challenge. Like that would be a challenge.
Barca's a challenge. AC Milan's a challenge.
Challenge, yeah.
Dortmund might be. They might give you a bit of problems here and there.
Dortmund's a good game.
They have a lot of injured
Yeah.
players. That's the thing with them. But Dortmund are decent. Yeah, City do really look like favorites.
But I don't, because they got Haaland now, it's different. But I don't know, man. It's always you're just not sure about City, man.
The Yaya Toure curse lives on, man. They're not
Hey.
winning nothing, mate.
I think this will really kind of tell if Haaland is also really like that guy.
The guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, like Champions League, like quarter semis, like that's the time to really, But if we think about it, if like City win the Champions League and like Haaland has a really good run, like that puts him really in the forefront of a Ballon d'Or.
Yeah. But he's not gonna
But
be
it's unlucky because it's a World Cup year. It's a World Cup year, and World Cup years is usually a World Cup winner who always wins the Ballon d'Or.
But they changed the ruling, isn't it? It's not. I don't think the World Cup.
Yeah.
I think
The
No,
World
Benzema
Cup
was
counted
gonna win
towards
it.
Yeah, I
the
think- 'cause I think
it
Benzema's gonna
counts,
win
it
it.
counts in the season. They changed the ruling in the terms where like it's season per season, so it's not like a yearly thing. So it's from
Okay.
September to before it used to be like from January to the next Ballon d'Or essentially. But now it's like how you
Okay.
perform from September till June or whatever the season, August till June. Yeah.
So he's not at the World Cup, so that's
He's
probably
not at the World
a
Cup, so that's going to be
Should have
that's going
chose England, mate. Should have opted.
I think
for
Norway
Fiji.
will. I think Norway will qualify. They do have some good players coming through anyway, so I think they will qualify for the World Cup.
For the Euros, maybe.
Euros
They'll
is
definitely
next
they'll
year.
definitely get Euros, but World
Yeah,
Cup I think is possible
yeah,
as well.
Yeah.
yeah.
Speaking about the World Cup, when is it? Because we need to do a preview for that.
November the 20
First,
something.
it's
Yeah,
Qatar,
November the
Qatar
20
v
something.
Ecuador or something.
Yeah, nobody watching that.
Yeah, 20th of November.
Mate,
Yeah,
Enna Valencia is going to be tearing it up.
England's
do
the
a preview for
first
that.
kind of non-shit game.
Which one?
England are playing Iran in the first, basically the first game, because no one's watching Qatar versus Ecuador.
Yeah.
I'm booking holiday in that time period, man. I need to get as much free as possible.
Actually, Senegal, Netherlands would be the first.
Are we should do. We're gonna do group by group like we did last time.
Yeah, we need
Yeah,
to.
go on then. Yeah, go on.
If we
then,
can,
man.
we might need.
Damn, there's
might
4
meet
games
up
on
and
a
do that
day.
one.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Nah, yeah.
Portugal, Ghana, Denzel. You're going to see Ronaldo coming up against
Good too.
your boys.
Oh
Portugal.
yeah. Yeah.
Then as I've been telling you, even Dan Ore, I'm tell your goats to score in the World Cup knockout. I'm telling them, score in the World Cup knockout. It's nonsense.
I don't want him to make it to the knockouts. If it means
My go has scored in the World Cup knockout. My go is Neymar.
My guy already has a World Cup trophy, man. He's already won the World Cup. Bro.
Our group is what? It's Portugal, Ghana, Uruguay, and then what's the other team?
Is it Korea or something? I swear.
Yeah, I don't care about them.
Or
Okay,
Japan?
Portugal, Ghana will go through. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, South Korea.
Portugal, Ghana,
Korea.
hopefully go through by God's grace. Because if Uruguay
Yeah.
hate them, up, hate those guys.
Can't lie to you, like Neymar really has to turn up, man. Like this is.
I think Brazil get the World Cup. Brazil. In fact,
If they do, then
we'll talk
Neymar's
about it.
legacy goes up 10 times.
Big time.
Yeah, he would. Yeah, like it's going to be insane, really.
It depends how it
Hey, we'll
performs.
save it. We'll save this for the World Cup preview.
We need to. I feel like we need to meet up and do it in person for the World Cup. It's a big one.
Mhm.
Yeah,
If we can, we'll try and make that happen.
Yeah.
try and make that happen for you guys. 100%.
Got
But
to.
nearly 2 hours. Make sure you hit the like button, share with your people. But yeah, like we're saying, we've got a lot of plans coming through. So you make sure that you're up to date with that. Hit the bell notification so you're up to date whenever we are live streaming. Because this is going to be the format now. It's not going to be from Zoom. It's going to be on StreamYard on the day. So yeah. But yeah, people, peace for coming. And we're out.